Hi everybody, it's Craftin Just Because with Cowan, and today we are going to be playing with the Darling Donkeys stamp set. Now this is a free set that you can get if you spend $50 or more with Stampin' Up! Starting January 5th. So it's fun because they have stamps, they have paper packs, and so every $50 you spend you get a free item, which is really nice, and everybody looks forward to it every year. And I'm not always the best about sometimes getting projects done with these celebration sets, so I went ahead and started playing with it, and I just fell in love with these little donkeys. So today's project, we're going to make just this fun little gift pouch. I would say that they're perfect for holding like candies, or if you had like a small gift. It's, you know, up to you. The sky's the limit. But we're going to go ahead and get started. What you're going to need is your paper trimmer. And what's really nice about this little pouch is it takes a 6x6 piece of designer series paper or cardstock. I like to use designer series paper on this because you don't want it too thick, you know, when you're folding in the sides there. And as you can see, it's pretty sturdy. Okay, so what you're going to do is on one side, you want to score this at 1.5. And then 4.5. And then you're going to rotate it 90 degrees, and you want to score it at 2.25 and 3.75. And that's all the scoring you need, you guys. Nice, right? Okay. So what we're going to now do is we're going to burnish those score lines. What burnish means is you're breaking down the fibers to make that score line, and it makes a nice crisp edge. And this is especially important when you're making 3D projects such as this project. Okay. Now you're going to open this up, and if you notice, you have two bigger flaps. Those are the front and back of the bag. And then you have this side tab that has the skinnier sections. On the skinnier sections, those are your sides. You want to cut up those two middle score lines, and then you're going to wedge out onto the square. So you're just removing a tiny bit of paper so that when you're folding that up, it makes it nice and crisp and clean. And you're going to do that on both sides. Okay, so that's what you're left with. Now on my sample, I used a square image here and then just rounded two of the corners. But this time I'm going to go ahead and use a circle that I go ahead and punch out a bunch of circles so I'm ready to go. And we're going to bring in our little donkey. And I'm going to use the one with the flower just because I want to be able to color it this flirty flamingo color. And I'm going to use my Memento ink, and you always want to use Memento ink when you're coloring with Stampin' Blends. Now, if you're coloring with the Stampin' Write markers, you don't necessarily have to worry about that. But we're going to go ahead and stamp that down, lift up, and then I'm also going to stamp my sentiment, and I'm going to put, "Hey there, friend." Whoops. Whoa, that would have been a mess, right? And this time I'm going to try to get the "Hey there, friend." Oh, no, let's go up. Right there. Okay. Cover that back up. And the colors that I'm using for the donkey are, I'm using Gray Granite Stampin' Blends. Excuse my reach. I'm going to use Flirty Flamingo the Dark, and then the Petal Pink, and and Granny Apple Green. So I'm going to go ahead and start. We're going to start with the donkey, and I'm going to use the dark first, And I'm just going to highlight some areas that I know will be darker on the donkey. Like around his face. And maybe along the side here. And then I'm just going to come in with that light and blend that all up together. And color the rest of him in. And then I'm going to do his ear up here. Oh, I meant to do, before I do that, I meant to do the dark on his eyes and along his hairline. And then I'm going to do the inside of his ears, this petal pink. And then I'm doing his mouth. Okay, and then I'm leaving his tail and his hair white. I'm going to come in with the granny apple green and do the flower stem and leaf, and then the flower in the dark flirty flamingo to match our paper. And then I'm just going to take my Wink Stella brush and I'm just going to run that over him. There we go. Okay, now I know my circle is bigger than my piece of paper here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some of it off. So I'm going to only glue 3/4 of the top part of that. And this is just a different way to use your stitch or your dies so that you don't have to worry about always, you know, having a perfect round circle. I want to make sure that his whole mouth is on there. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my paper trimmer. I'm going to line that up at the edge and I'm going to cut that off. Just like that. Okay, now let's assemble our bag. Sorry, you guys, I'm grabbing one of the library clips. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add adhesive onto this middle tab, and I'm going to put it up to the back of the box. Just like that. Making sure to line that all up. And you're going to do the same thing on this side. Okay, now I'm going to just add glue to my front flaps to put over that back piece. Make sure that's all nice and lined up. Do the same thing on this side. Now, you could leave it open just like this if you wanted to, or you could, let me make sure that that's all nice and glued down there with my bone folder before I start manipulating it. Or you could just kind of press in the middles like that and add your library clip. And as you could see, I needed to add a tiny bit more glue in these corners. So I'll go ahead and do that. Hold that for just a moment. Okay, then I'm going to take my Whisper White crinkled ribbon. Now what I love about this ribbon is you could color it to make it any color that you want. So we're going to do that today. I'm going to show you guys how to do that. But first I'm going to measure out how much I will need for my bow so that I'm not wasting any. I'm going to take a scrap of paper and I'm going to lay my ribbon down on it. And then I'm going to take my marker, and using the brush tip, I'm using my Stampin' Write marker. I'm just going to color my ribbon. And I'm coloring it Granny Apple Green. And it dries instantly because it is an alcohol-based marker. Okay, then you're gonna move that, and then we'll just tie our bow. Awesome, huh? This ribbon, any white ribbon will do this, and I just love how easy it is and how it accepts our colors so well. And then I do a tiny little dab of glue onto my library clip. Or you could use a glue dot. I just find I have better success with the liquid glue. And then I trim my ends. And there's your project, you guys, featuring the Darling Donkey stamp set. So I hope you guys had fun watching me today. If you liked what you saw, please hit the bell notification and it will notify you of any future videos that I make. And also give me a thumbs up. That way more people will see these videos. Thank you guys, and I hope you have a great day. Until next time, my creative peeps. See you later. Bye-bye.